DreamWorks didn't just give us a clumsy panda, they gave us villains who committed literal war crimes, orchestrated mass genocides, and enslaved actual souls. From a vengeance-fueled snow leopard to a shape-shifting psychological nightmare, these aren't your average cartoon bad guys. They are brilliantly written studies in trauma and obsession. But when you pit Tai Lung, Lord Shen, Kai, and the Chameleon against each other, who truly stands above the rest? Today, we are ranking all 4 major Kung Fu Panda villains from weakest to most devastating. Let's get started. Number 4. Kai the Collector. Starting at the bottom of our list is Kai, also known as the Jade Warlord, the main antagonist of Kung Fu Panda 3. Kai isn't a bad villain, but when you stack him against the other 3, he falls short in almost every category that makes a truly great antagonist. Kai's backstory takes us 500 years into the past, where he and Master Oogway were brothers in arms, fighting together as warriors across ancient China. The two discovered a hidden panda village where they learned the secrets of Qi, the life force that flows through all living things. But here's where their paths diverged. While Oogway used Qi to heal and protect, Kai became obsessed with taking Qi for himself, stealing it from others to increase his own power. The visual design of Kai is genuinely impressive, with glowing green eyes and mystical chains wrapped around his arms. His weapons are twin jade blades attached to those same chains, and when he fights, the sound of metal against stone echoes through every scene. The animators at DreamWorks clearly put serious effort into making him look intimidating, and in that regard, they absolutely succeeded. Kai's supernatural abilities are where things get interesting. As a spirit warrior, he can steal Qi from Kung Fu masters and turn them into jade zombies under his control. Imagine watching your greatest heroes, masters like Crane and Mantis and Viper, getting their life force literally ripped out of their bodies and then being forced to fight against Po as mindless green statues. It's genuinely disturbing when you think about it. The guy also has an army of jade warriors, each one a fallen kung fu master from across China. Every green statue represents someone's teacher, someone's hero, someone who dedicated their life to protecting others. Kai collected them like trophies, and the Great Wall of China becomes his personal display case for showing off his conquests. But here's where Kai starts to fall apart as a villain. His motivation is painfully simple. He wants power for the sake of power, with no deeper meaning or personal connection to the story. Unlike the other villains on this list, Kai doesn't challenge Po on an emotional or philosophical level. He's basically a supernatural bully who got kicked out of the spirit realm and wants revenge. The writing also does Kai no favors. His dialogue is filled with generic villain lines like, "I am Kai and I will have my revenge," and "You cannot stop me, I am eternal." Compare that to the sharp, clever writing we get from other Kung Fu Panda antagonists, and Kai sounds like he's reading from a rejected script for a different movie entirely. There's also the issue of stakes. By Kung Fu Panda 3, Po has already mastered Kung Fu and found inner peace. The threat of someone stealing Qi feels less personal and more like just another obstacle to overcome. Kai never makes the conflict feel urgent or emotionally investing in the way that great villains should. The final battle against Kai takes place in the spirit realm, a glowing mystical dimension where the laws of physics apparently don't apply. Po defeats him by mastering Qi and essentially becoming a golden dragon made of pure energy. It's visually spectacular, but it lacks the emotional weight and personal stakes that made the previous 2 films so compelling. What really hurts Kai's ranking is that he feels like a step backward for the franchise. Kung Fu Panda 2 had shown that these movies could tackle serious themes like genocide and trauma and family legacy. Kai brings us back to a more basic good versus evil story that doesn't take advantage of everything the series had built up to that point. Number 3. The Chameleon. Coming in at number 3 is the Chameleon from Kung Fu Panda 4, and this is where our ranking gets really controversial. The Chameleon is simultaneously the most ambitious and most frustrating villain in the entire franchise, a character with incredible potential who falls just short of true greatness due to some questionable writing choices. First, let's talk about what works. The Chameleon's backstory is genuinely heartbreaking and represents something new for the Kung Fu Panda universe. Picture a tiny chameleon, smaller than most people's thumbs, trying to learn Kung Fu in a world designed for much larger animals. Every dojo she approaches rejects her, not because she lacks skill or determination, but simply because of her size. The masters can't see past her physical limitations to recognize her potential. This rejection creates a villain motivated by something much more relatable than world conquest or revenge. The Chameleon isn't evil because she was born bad or corrupted by power. She's evil because society failed her, because the very system that's supposed to protect and teach people like her instead cast her aside. That's a level of social commentary that gives her story real weight. Her design is absolutely stunning. The animators created this sleek, constantly shifting figure who can change not just her color but her entire appearance. Watch her move through the criminal underworld of Juniper City, taking on the forms of different animals as she manipulates everyone around her. Her true form is almost insect-like, with these massive eyes that seem to see right through whatever facade you're putting up. The setting of Juniper City is also a major upgrade for the franchise. Instead of the rural Chinese villages and mountains we're used to, we get this sprawling urban environment filled with criminals and outcasts. Think Blade Runner, but with anthropomorphic animals. The chameleon's powers are terrifyingly effective. She can perfectly mimic any animal, copying not just their appearance, but their fighting styles and even their memories. Imagine fighting someone who can become your master, your friend, your family member, using your own techniques against you while wearing the face of someone you love. The psychological warfare aspect of her abilities is off the charts. There's also her army of Komodo dragons, these hulking reptilian enforcers who terrorize Juniper City on her behalf. Each one is basically a walking tank, immune to most attacks and completely loyal to their chameleon master. The way they move through the city streets, their claws scraping against stone while their forked tongues taste the fear in the air, creates this constant sense of dread. But here's where the chameleon's story starts to fall apart. Her plan involves using magical artifacts to steal the kung fu abilities of previous villains. In execution, it reduces 3 of the franchise's best characters to mindless puppets who get defeated embarrassingly quickly. The movie also introduces a major absence that feels forced and unnecessary, the Furious Five. Suddenly, we learn that Poe's legendary comrades are all off on separate, off-screen side missions, completely removing the team dynamic that plays such a crucial role in the Dragon Warrior's journey. The chameleon's relationship with her sidekick Zhen, a fox thief with her own tragic past, is probably the strongest emotional core of Kung Fu Panda 4. Their dynamic as mentor and student, with all the baggage of betrayal and redemption that comes with it, gives the movie some genuine heart, but it's not enough to carry the entire film. What really hurts the chameleon is that her character arc doesn't feel complete. We see her motivations, we understand her pain, but her final defeat comes too quickly and feels somewhat unearned. The movie simply has her dragged back to the spirit realm without really giving us a climactic showdown that would make her ultimate downfall completely satisfying. Number 2. Tai Lung. The very first Kung Fu Panda villain remains one of the most compelling antagonists in animation, a character whose tragedy runs so deep that even 18 years later, fans are still debating whether he was truly evil or just a victim of circumstance. Tai Lung's story begins in the most heartbreaking way possible. Found abandoned by Master Shifu outside the Jade Palace, this tiny snow leopard cub possessed more natural kung fu talent than anyone had seen in generations. Shifu raised him as a son, pouring all his knowledge and love into training him, both believing the cub was destined to become the Dragon Warrior. But here's where the tragedy begins. Shifu's love became corrupted by ambition. He wanted his son to be the chosen one, and Tai Lung, desperate to make his father proud, absorbed this ambition until it defined his entire identity. The visual design of adult Tai Lung is perfect. He's a massive snow leopard with piercing yellow eyes, scarred by 20 years in prison. When he escapes Chorgom prison, it's like watching a natural disaster. Chained up and hanging upside down, he single-handedly defeats an army of rhino guards and buries the most secure prison in China under an avalanche. What makes Tai Lung truly special is his relationship with destiny. Unlike villains seeking world domination, Tai Lung believes he's the rightful Dragon Warrior. He's not the villain of his story, he's the hero denied his birthright. When Oogway denied him the scroll, was that wisdom or injustice? You can understand why someone would snap after having their life's purpose ripped away, especially when groomed for it since childhood. His fighting abilities are terrifying. When he fights the Furious Five on the bridge, he doesn't just defeat them, he dismantles them. The nerve attack he uses is particularly brutal. He targets specific pressure points to temporarily paralyze Monkey, Viper, and Mantis, proving he's one of the most skilled fighters in the franchise. His confrontation with Shifu is pure emotional devastation. 20 years of hurt pour out as father and son try to destroy each other. Shifu fights to atone for creating this monster, while Tai Lung fights for acknowledgement that his pain matters. Ian McShane's voice acting brings incredible complexity here. You can hear the wounded cub who just wanted his father's pride. Tai Lung perfectly embodies the theme of the first movie while serving as Poe's foil. Where Poe embraces his unconventional path, Tai Lung is destroyed by trying to be what others expected of him. The only reason Tai Lung isn't number 1 is that his story is ultimately about personal failure, rather than challenging the heroes on a larger thematic scale. Number 1. Lord Shen. And here we are at number 1, Lord Shen, the peacock who redefined animated villainy. Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2 isn't just the franchise's best antagonist, he's arguably one of the greatest in all of animation, simultaneously terrifying and genuinely sympathetic. Picture an albino peacock with blood-red eyes and metal talons, contrasting with flowing red robes. Shen transforms his natural elegance into something menacing. He doesn't just fight, he dances. His combat is a deadly ballet where his tail feathers act as throwing knives, capturing both beauty and horror. Born into royalty, Shen was heir to a Gongmen city clan that turned fireworks into magic. But when a soothsayer prophesied his defeat by a warrior of black and white, Shen chose to prevent it by eliminating every panda in China. Let that sink in. This character committed genocide because he was afraid of his own destiny. Shen spent the next 20 years plotting his return, forging cannons that pitted traditional martial arts against industrial warfare. When his armada sails into Gongmen City Harbor, the message is clear. This isn't a personal vendetta. This is warfare on a scale meant to reshape all of China. Despite his warmongering, Shen is motivated by pure fear of death, failure, and being forgotten. His desperate attempt to control his fate makes his dynamic with Po deeply personal. Po's parents died in Shen's massacre, and when Po finally remembers that traumatic night, it becomes the catalyst for his true inner peace. Supported by Gary Oldman's phenomenal voice acting, Shen's final battle with Po operates physically, emotionally, and philosophically. What makes Shen's defeat so powerful is his tragic end. When Po offers him a chance to let go of his pain and find peace, Shen violently rejects it. In a final, frantic knife attack, Shen accidentally slices the ropes holding up his massive, damaged cannon. As the weapon falls, Shen realizes his fatal mistake, simply closes his eyes, and lets it crush him. Shen represents a classical Greek tragedy wrapped in a kung fu movie. His quest to prevent his destiny only ensured it came to pass. He is the perfect fusion of spectacle, substance, beauty, and madness. And there you have it, the definitive ranking of Kung Fu Panda's greatest villains. Each brought something unique, but only one peacock could claim the crown. If you enjoyed this deep dive into animated villainy, subscribe for more movie analysis. Next week, we're examining Po's evolution from noodle shop worker to spiritual master. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.